Welcome to the Lumension Device Control video vignette series, in which we discuss how to use specific features and capabilities of Lumension Device Control, now an integrated module on the Lumension Endpoint Management and Security Suite, to control the use of removable devices and media, like USB flash drives and DVD burners, within your network. Hello, my name is Chris Merritt, and in this episode I'm joined by Chris Chevalier from Product Management to discuss how you can protect valuable data using Lumension Device Control. Rolling out a new security capability is oftentimes difficult and risks either leaving gaps which result in data leakage or inadvertently impacting productivity, which results in an uproar from your users. In most organizations, one can't simply move from no policy to full-on control across all groups and users in an instant. So, Chris, how does one roll out a new removable device security regime appropriately?
Roll device control out in an organization. You're right that we need to do so cautiously and slowly, as we don't want to disrupt any of the end users by denying connections of things which are there for legitimate business use. So there are a couple of things within device control which help us do that. The first is this global policy. And the global policy is by default in what we call an audit mode, and this is a non-blocking mode and makes sure that the system doesn't block any device connections of any kind on any of the endpoints that it's managing. And this allows us to install and collect information from the endpoints, all of that log information about what's being connected. We can determine which of those devices we legitimately want to allow, and we can develop other policies for the devices which we want to allow before we go into enforcement mode. So once we feel like we've got all the policies we need in place down here, then we can edit that global policy and move into enforcement mode. Then all of the rest of the policies, those which are here by default and those which we have created, will go into effect. Now, there are default policies which are pre-populated in the system for every device class, which allow read and write of those devices. So if we looked at one of these policies, it would say that it's allowing read and write of that particular port. So the first thing that we can then do, so even though we've gone into enforcement mode, we're still not blocking anything, we're allowing read-write. So now we can start to pick device classes that we know we don't use in our organization. For example, let's say we know that there isn't any legitimate usage of parallel ports. I can go ahead and disable this policy for parallel ports, and now there won't be any policy which applies to parallel ports, and so access to parallel ports will be denied. For device classes which might be more complex, let's say removable storage devices, we will have created other policies for that particular class, and then once we want those to go in effect, we can go ahead and disable this as well, and then those other policies will go into effect and start enforcing those for removable storage devices. There may be other types of devices in which you just want to change it maybe to read-only access, and for those you can just leave the default policy in place, but then you would go in and just edit that policy and change the permission settings on that default policy, and use it as if it were any other policy. So what this allows us to do is to roll out slowly and sort of softly start to enforce these permissions rather than all at once across the board. So we've got globally, we can keep the whole system from going into blocking mode, and it also, by the way, gives you one switch to get out of blocking mode if things have gone horribly awry, but hopefully they haven't. And then there are then you can roll out your permissions class by class by class to kind of soften the impact of enforcement on your end users. Allows you to roll out a little bit of enforcement, measure, make sure everything's going well, roll out a little bit more.
Great, so you can really use the audit mode to gain visibility into what's going on in your network, and then use the policies and the granular permission sets to adjust as you move forward to start to enforce your security policy.
Exactly.
Great, thanks, Chris. I hope you enjoyed this short video on how Lumension Device Control will help you gain visibility and control over the use of removable devices and media in your environment. For more information, please visit the Device Control page on our website, where you can get free premium security tools to assess your network today. Thank you.